All right. So I figured I'd make a little video here. Some people call this re-racking a trot line, but I don't know. I've never called it that. I've always just called it running them up, and it helps if they're just a bit damp. Not soaking wet, but a little damp really makes them lay in the box a little better. Yeah, so basically I put the end up in this corner, and I'm right-handed, and I put them out off the, if you're looking out the back of the boat, I put them off the right side because I'm right-handed. My dad's left-handed, and so he puts them out off the left side if you're standing in the back of the boat looking at the motor. I guess I posted a video putting out the last 5 hooks, and I probably should have took a video of the last 25, but I had the thought, you know. So anyway, if you are left-handed and you're going to put them out off the left side of the boat, basically the reason I do it off the right side, because I'm right-handed, is because the hooks go this way, you know. Then that's just how I have always done it. But anyway, I can talk to you about my lines a little bit. I don't want to give too many secrets away, but what I've learned over the years, especially with commercial fishing, but really anything in life, is you can tell somebody exactly what to do, exactly how to do it, and they'll see you have success, and they will never do it the exact same way. So a lot of people were asking about these floats, and the floats are attached just like a hook would be, only I use about 3 or 4 foot of string on my floats. And my first float is 5 hooks from the end and 5 hooks from the beginning. There's also a float, and then every 10 hooks between all that. So that's basically how that goes. That way, whenever you tie multiple lines together, it doesn't mess up. You'll still have 10 hooks between every single float, because that's what you want with your. Just makes things a little more uniform, I guess you could say. Not that the fish really care. And these monofilament leaders, if you guys are using nylon, which is what this is. This is number 24 seine twine, twisted, just twisted, not bonded or anything like that. All that stuff doesn't lay very well in a box. If you guys are using that nylon for your leaders, as your number 1 mistake, you'll jump your catch up. I would say 60%. You'll catch 60% more fish if you'll just swap those leaders. My hooks are 10 foot apart on these. I've over the years I've had them all different ways. I used to have lots of lines. I had over 100, so I had lots of different types of lines. I had lines that were super long. These are 1100 feet, and yeah, these are 1100 feet, so I consider them pretty short. I used to fish 12 foot twin hooks, or 14 or 16 foot, just to cover more ground, or find the fish, all that good stuff. But yeah, I know there's a lot of interest in the world on these trot lines and all that, and this is probably I mean, you honestly, you just don't get any better than this. I've tried many different things, and you don't get any better than this right here. This is going to be your best chance of catching those fish. So see, there's another float. I just stick him in the box right there. and it'll come out just like you guys seen in the video. Some of these hooks, they get bent. Their circle hooks are really hard to bend back. Usually I just replace them, but hooks are so expensive. You try to get them bent, get them to at least catch another fish and be, you know, be okay. These leaders, I had a lot of people that didn't really understand. Now this is, both of these lines, the green and the orange, are big game trilene. And I found that for what I use it for, it works the best out of anything I've ever used. I usually try to use at least 30-pound mono. And basically I've got a board that's half the length of this. So it's that long. And I just wrap a bunch of mono around it and take a really good pair of scissors, snip them all while I'm holding on to them, run them, stretch them underneath really hot water in your kitchen sink, about 10, 20 times like this. And then I wrap them up in a towel straight and they dry, and that's right there, that's pretty much how they come. But then I just double them up, put a small twist in them like so, and then twist them on up and then tie them on the swivel. I run them through the eye of the swivel. So I've got a swivel here we can do. I'm sure there's gonna be one broke sooner than later here. Here, I'll just do this. I'll just do this. We'll just grab this one here real quick. We'll just cut one off. There we go. There it is, cut off. And you know, as far as changing hooks go, it takes like 2 seconds to change a hook, you know. So anyway, we've already got this one twisted up. I'll just tie it on here. Actually, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll show you that a little closer up here. So there we go. See? Put a little twist in it. And there you go. Twist that up, put it through the eye of the swivel. Twist the swivel about 4 times, put the tails through the eye you made, pull it down pretty tight. And you want to use something really sharp and good. These cutters are not very good, but actually probably just have to use the old razor knife here. But what you want to do is you want to cut these tails off smooth and about as short as possible, like so. You just don't want a burr, because if you have a burr, it will catch a piece of that nylon and drag it up out of there, kind of like that. These aren't bad, and they'll wear in as you fish them. But this is another important part that I found. You know, you always want to, for trot lines anyway, you want to put your dropper through the front of the eye of your hook. Okay, and then I just split the loop twice. You can see there's how it hangs. But if you'll notice, it hangs straight up, you know, and that goes back to the old snag lines. Basically, no matter how I run my finger down this string, it's going to pull the tip of that hook into there, you know, and that's what you want. Because a lot of times you'll have a fish just messing around, or he won't like your bait and he'll snack up in there. He'll get too close to that hook and you got him. But anyway, that's how I do my lines. These boxes, they hold, I make them to hold about 105 slots. You know, I fish a 100 hook line, or I put a 100 hook line in a box. But it helps, you know, you'll tear one of these little pieces of rubber and you won't be able to use that slot, or something will happen, you know. And you'll have a slot to put your, you know, your beginning and your end if you want to. I always just put it all on top there, but yeah, you'll have that. So that's pretty much how my stuff works. And yeah, we catch, you know, catching pretty good for me. You know, it's 50 pounds of line is pretty good, honestly, but you know, certain times of year you can do better if you find the fish and you catch the right bait that they're wanting to bite. You can catch. I mean, I've seen 300-pound line before. Pretty rare, but I have seen it a few times. One more thing before we close this video down. Tying spikes on. I use railroad spikes for weights. You need, you know, one of these railroad spikes will just barely sink one of these floats, so that's what you want. So basically, what I do is called a, I think it's called a girth hitch. Well, that's what some people call it, but it's kind of funny. A fella I know, he blew stuff up in the military. That's what he did. So he was always messing with det cord and stuff like that, detonators. And he said it's the same knot, and he was amazed when I showed it to him because I tied it so quickly. He didn't even know you could do that. So basically, I take the spike, lay it on top, do 2 wraps, then grab a hitch, you know, and then there you go. And so that's the knot, right? Girth hitch that's what I've always called it, you know. And there's lots of ways you can do it. I've seen guys that they'll stop the boat and do this, you know, and stick the head through it, and there you go. And then this one is one of my most favorite ones. If I know I'm fishing in a spot that's super hangy, or coming over a riverbank or something, I'll go ahead and tie my girth hitch like I want, but I'll just throw an extra half hitch back here on the end. And what that does is that makes that spike hang like that. And I feel like, you know, it'll pull that round hangs and stuff, and anything that lays in the mud flat holds better. But if you don't, you know, tie it like that, which I don't normally, it kind of just, you know, hangs like that. So, but anyway, so that's how I do that. And I tie it like that because it's so easy and so quick. Like even your little trot line clips, you can't clip one of those on in faster than I can tie one on, I assure you. And plus, you know, my hands are just constantly destroyed in trying to work those little clips when you got hooks flying by and stuff like that. And you know, you grab hold of that, it's going to start pulling tight because the other end has got an anchor on it. So, and you don't want to jerk all your bait off whenever you snap one, whenever you're putting it out. So, you know, I put mine out pretty fast, you know, like 5, 6, 7 miles an hour or whatever. But, you know, a lot of people don't. And it comes with practice. But I will tell you, you know, whenever you're putting these lines out, in my opinion, you know, you're putting this baby out and it's going out of the box like this right here. If you keep your hands back from here back, you'll be all right. Whatever you do is don't ever pick that line up and bring it over here. Have your hands out here. And it don't matter if it's up high or whatever, because if you slip or whatever, that hook will pop out and it'll come that way, and it's going to suck it plumb through your hand. I know, I've been there. I've had them in me, I've had them through my fingers, I've had them all down my sides, you name it, you know. But yeah, that's how that goes. I just want to share that. If you got any questions, I guess leave them in the comments. I'll do my best. I'm giving up 20 years of knowledge here, so I hope this helps somebody, you know. The hooks I use are on these lines anyways. These are a 4/0 L197 BK from Eagle Claw. They're pretty good. I've used them for years. I've got some 5/0s I use too. I mean, you know, anywhere from a 3/0 to a 5/0 is good enough for most of your fish. Now you get in your big fish, and that's a whole nother topic. Big fish and big hooks. But anyway, if you got any questions, leave them in the comments.